guys? Andrea Renee here for Machinima. You know this guy. It's Randy Pitchford, the head honcho over at Gearbox. What's going on, man?
We are this close to launching Borderlands 2, so it's extremely exciting around the studio right now.
I mean, it's like the anticipation, like all the buzz about the pre-orders and the newly announced bonuses for veterans of Borderlands that you guys get. What kind of skins and stuff are we going to get? New heads, I heard?
Yeah, there's all kinds of, if you know you're going to play Borderlands, definitely pre-order the game and get into our Premier Club, because we have a whole lot of offers for you. Not only will you get some bonuses that you'll use in the game, but later we'll actually be launching some DLC that you'll get for free. The Necromancer new character class will come out after launch, and that'll be the first thing. If you played Borderlands 1, you'll get an exclusive head and skin for each of the character classes as well that's just free. So definitely jump in.
What are badass skills?
Well, we look at the way that people play the game and what they want to do, and really there's two objectives that we reach with those. One is we give you a long end game. So if you're one of these guys that likes to play Borderlands for 100, 200, 300 hours, it gives you some long-term goals with Borderlands. Ultimately, it works like this, right? We made a lot of new challenges with Borderlands 2, everything from kill a million bullymongs, to do some really crazy stuff and get some specific areas. Every time you complete a challenge, you get some badass ranks. Now, at the very onset, it's a gamer thing. I have more badass ranks than you, therefore I'm more badass, so we hook that up. But along with badass ranks, every so many ranks you get a badass token, which you can spend on buffs. Now the cool thing about the buffs, and they're everything from health regen to fire rate to ammo size, all the great stats we know and love to play with at Borderlands, you can actually spend them on one character, but they are profile specific, not character specific. So you can actually get a high level character, and when you start over, you'll get all the benefits from those points that you spend on other ones. So if you're one of those guys that likes to min-max numbers and get a certain play style just really honed into to perfection, and this is a system for you, and it's going to be great. Long-term rewards for playing Borderlands.
All around the stackless plant, the stalker chased the bandit. The stalker thought 'twas all in fun. Pop!
So let's talk about some other things that we're going to see new, like really cool new characters. One of the characters that I stumbled across in my playthrough was Tiny Tina. Now, where did the inspiration for this character come from?
Yeah, Tiny Tina came from a number of different directions. Scott Kester is a brilliant character artist, a concept artist. He designed the look and feel for Tiny Tina. She was written by Anthony Birch, who, I don't know if you've ever seen the series Hey Ash, What You Playin'?
Of course we've seen Hey Ash. We love Ashley Birch.
Yeah, and Ash voiced her.
Time for the party! I know a lot of people are fans of the cell shading, and I know there's people out there that are gamers that are like, what is cell shading anyway? What does that mean? How would you describe it in layman's terms?
Well, with our style, we fought the cell shading, archetype so early on because it's such a common term in our industry. But really what it is we're actually taking these textures and we're drawing on them just like we were drawing on a piece of paper, just like a comic book artist would ink. So we've really tried to stay away from the cell shading term, but yeah, it's really basically just, we actually have a few fantastic artists who have a history in comic book inking, so they really helped kind of pave the way in getting in there when we were trying the first prototypes for this. So they would get in there and they would really teach us, hey, this is what we used to do when we were actually working on the real deal, and then we just tried as best as we could to evolve that and translate it into what you see in Borderlands 2.
Sorry, what was that? You gotta speak up!
Some of the enemies are really like, when you stumble across them the first time, like I actually got scared and ran away because they were like just big and crazy and they jump at you. Yeah. And I read somewhere that you guys have new enemies in the triple digits. Is that true?
Ruben and his team went crazy with the variety. Probably 5 to 6 times the amount of variety in enemies and different things that you'll encounter in Pandora out in the Borderlands in this game versus the first. We actually had some artists get together and create sort of a visual map on paper of all the sizes and scale of the characters. So if you imagine like this piece of paper being all, having all the characters on it, and there's the heroes, and then you can imagine the hundreds of enemies, all the different sizes, and then this would be like a rack hive, and there's things that are like would be beyond the scope of the paper.
Oh,
They're
wow.
like giant things that are in the game, and it's just there's so much variety. It's astonishing even to me, and I'm involved in the process. So I think what it comes from the team not only having a lot of passion for creating this stuff, but we've become really expert at all of our tools and systems, and we're also very expert at these platforms because we've been able to work on, say, the Xbox 360, the PlayStation 3 for so long. So we're able to do things that just weren't possible earlier on.
So does all of these different environments, like the snow or the sand or grass, how does that affect the gameplay as you're moving through the levels?
Well, the wildlife, naturally. Depending on the environment that you're in, it's going to affect the style of combat you'll encounter with those guys. Like, you have the big furry bullymongs that are like giant apes. They've got a lot of fur, so they deal with the cold. But then as you get into the warmer climates, you're getting more humanoids, more humans and bandits. So that'd be a good one for Randy.
I don't know.
Now, one of the other things I saw in my gameplay demo here today was the hub town of Sanctuary. Can you tell the viewers a little bit about what they're going to find in Sanctuary and what are all the kinds of things that you can do in this town?
Sure. I think one of the great things with any great RPG is you have that place that really feels like home. It's got all of those amenities, all of the things that really bring that gameplay experience all together. I mean, one thing, you're going to see the great familiar characters. You're going to find some characters that you remember from Borderlands 1. Marcus, who runs all the vending machines, has got a shop set up there. You're going to get to interact with him. Moxie's got a bar set up in town, some really neat things like that. But more than that, you get some really great new features that help your gameplay, like the stash. The stash is a place where you can take items from one character, put them in there, and characters that are also in your account. So you create that second character, that gunzerker or that assassin. You can trade those items to your other characters that you play on your account. So really, really useful amenities like that. There's other things, a lot of.
He says it's really, really useful. I'm sorry to cut you off, but that's freaking amazing that you can transfer items between profiles.
Then you shall dance for my enjoyment!
So as we were talking about these crazy new characters, I mean, you've obviously seen all of the VO sessions and seen everything that this game has coming. Do you have any favorite lines?
Well, there's so many great characters, it's unfair to call out a favorite, but since you mentioned Tiny Tina, I'll just have to say, crumpets are crunk!
They are crunk. It kind of makes me want a crumpet right now. Should we go get crumpets?
You know what? That's a good plan. Let's go do that.
All right, we're going to go get crumpets.
We're out.
Okay.
Crumpets.
Away, 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 away.
Away, 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 away.